Hare Krishna. Welcome everyone to our Bhagavad Gita overview. So we'll start our class with our prayers. Om Jnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Juta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajata Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute तप्त कांचना गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानु सुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामी निति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधार श्रीवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा. So we are discussing from the 12th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. So yesterday we completed 11th chapter. 11th chapter is entitled the universal form. So ninth chapter Krishna ended with Manmanabha Mad Bhakto. You become my devotee by thinking about me, by offering obeisances unto me, worshipping me. Then in the 10th chapter, Krishna on his own, he started the ways of worshipping him and always remembering him. And in that he described how one can see Krishna in all the powerful, attractive manifestations in this world. And then after hearing the whole 10th chapter, Arjuna, he was happy, very delighted, but he wanted now to see that form in which Krishna manifests the entire creation. So therefore, in the 11th chapter, he requested Krishna, "Oh Krishna, please show me that form." And in response to Arjuna's request, Krishna showed him the Virat Rupa, and by that Virat Rupa, Krishna showed how he is manifesting in this entire creation. Just a minute. Yeah. So now in the 11th chapter, Krishna described how he is manifesting this entire, he is pervading in this entire creation. And then he showed Arjuna Virata Rupa and he showed him the Kala Rupa. And that is what Arjuna had not seen, this Kala Rupa form of Lord. And that's why in 31st verse of 11th chapter, Arjuna asked, "Who are you?" Akhya himeko bhavanugra rupo namostute deva vara prasida vigyatamichhami bhavantamadhyam nahi prajanami tava pravrittim. I don't know why you have appeared and who are you? In response to that, Krishna explained, Kalosmi, time I am. And then he said, I have come to destroy the whole world. Just you become instrument in my hand. And therefore, then Arjuna, he became fearful. He offered his obeisances, offered his respects, asked for apologies, and then he requested, please withdraw this form. I am not able to see this terrible form. Please show me your Saumya Rupa. In response to Arjuna's request, Krishna withdrew that form and again he appeared in the two-handed form. And then Krishna said, this form which you are seeing, Arjuna, this is a very, very rare form. Sudurdarsham idam rupam drishtavan yasimam yatha. So nobody can see this form, only by bhaktya tu ananyaya shakya, only by the practice of devotional service one can know me as I am, two-handed form of Krishna. And that is how the chapter ended with mat karma krin, mat parmo, mad bhaktah, sang varchitah. How to practice devotional service, how to know him? By working for Krishna, by making Krishna as the goal of life, and staying in association of devotees. Then after this, Arjuna, he had another question. In the 12th chapter, he again asked, which of the two is better, personalists or impersonalists? So then we saw that in 9.15, Krishna had said three things: Ekatvena, Prithaktvena, Bahudha, and Vishwato Mukham. So these three type of people, they worship Krishna apart from the Mayavadis and apart from the pure devotees. Those who are the Brahmavadis, Ekatvena, those who are worshippers of the Devatas, they are Prithaktvena, and those who are worshippers of the Virata Rupa. So Krishna described about the demigod worship in the 9th chapter itself. Then he described about Virata Rupa worship also in 9.16 to 19, and then again in 11th chapter in great detail. Only thing which was remaining was this Ekatvena, impersonal worship. And therefore Arjuna asked about this question again. Also, he wanted to secure his own position because he was the worshipper of personal form of the Lord. So in response to this question, Krishna very clearly said that my devotee, when he is worshipping me in my personal form, that is the best. And that is how he shows how he delivers. Krishna says, Bhavami na chirat partha, tesham aham samuddharta mrityu samsara sagarat. I protect my devotee, I take him out of this ocean of material existence. And then now Krishna is showing how he is all accommodating. And in this slide, you can see Krishna is giving now various levels of bhakti. So in 8th and 9th verses, Krishna says how this bhakti can be performed by internal senses. Somebody may say, I'm not qualified for that. I'm not ready for this level of bhakti. Krishna says, don't worry. You can perform bhakti by external senses also. And then somebody says, but I'm not on that level also. I cannot worship you. Krishna says, don't worry. No problem. Do something, give something in charity. Start giving. The principle of giving is auspicious. One time there was a beggar. Every day he would go to the house of one person, and this lady, she would come out and she would give gali every day. And every day this beggar would go and he would come back again. So after many days, this lady, she became very intrigued. She came and asked, and she became so upset that she brought some ash, which was there in the kitchen, the remaining of whatever was cooked. So the ash was remaining. So ash he gave to this beggar. So beggar said, thank you very much. So this lady became surprised. She said, I am giving you ash and you are saying thank you. So this beggar said, today you are giving me ash, tomorrow you will give cash. So at least you have started giving. So Krishna is all accommodative person, and he says the principle of giving is auspicious. So at least start giving something to people. Start doing some charity. Start doing some selfless work. And then he explains the hierarchy in the 12th verse. So these verses may be little technical, so just try to understand whatever you can. But the basic principle is Krishna is giving various levels of how everybody can get connected to this process of Krishna consciousness at any level they are. That is how Chaitanya Charaprabhu says this process of Krishna consciousness is all encompassing. And he says, from your place, at your pace, join the race to meet Krishna. So wherever one may be, at your place, from your place, at your pace, to whatever extent and speed, at whatever speed you can run, please run towards Krishna. Join the race to reach Krishna. So therefore in 8th verse, Krishna says, Mayyeva manadhatsva may buddhim niveshaya nivashishyasi mayyeva ata urdham na samshayah. So this is the highest level of devotional practice which Krishna is telling in this verse. In this verse, Krishna is saying you fix your mind and fix your intelligence on me. Mai eva mana adhatsva. Just fix your mind on me. Mai buddhim niveshaya. Then engage your intelligence in me. In this way, nivashishyasi mayeva, you will always live in me. There is no doubt in this, O Arjuna. So, there are two levels of bhakti which are described in this verse. First is smaran atmika. Smaran means when you think about Krishna. That is the level of a pure devotee. He can always be thinking about Krishna. Then below than that is using your intelligence, conscious intelligence to always think about Krishna. Smaranatmika means spontaneous remembrance. Intelligence means manan atmika bhakti means you have to consciously, with your intelligence think about Krishna. So Krishna is offering a descending ladder. So someone may say, but bhakti is the best. But I am not qualified to do bhakti as it is. It is so exalted. So Krishna says, no worries. If you are not on that level of pure devotional service where you fix your mind and intelligence on me, just try practicing this sadhana bhakti. So in 9th verse, Krishna is giving the sadhana bhakti, which is called Abhyas Rupa Bhakti by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. He says, Athachittam samadhatum nashaknosi maistiram abhyas yogena tato mamichhatum dhananjaya. He's saying, oh Arjuna, if you cannot nashaknosi mai stiram, if you cannot make your chitta, make your mind steady on me, then what you should do? Abhyas yogena tato. Then follow the regulative principles of bhakti yoga. This is the process of sadhana bhakti which Krishna is recommending in the 9th verse. So this is how, because the mind will always go away. Mind may go away, but it should not stay away. Bring it back again and again. That is the process of sadhana bhakti. Yato yato nischalati manaschanchalamastheram tatastato niyamya tat atmanyeva vashamnait. Wherever and whenever the mind goes and wanders, bring it back again and again. In this way, what will happen? Mam ichha aptum dhananjaya. At least you will develop a desire to attain me. At present, we don't have our desire very, very strong to attain Krishna. We have heard something about Krishna, we have started practicing, but our desire is not so strong. So Krishna is saying, by this process of sadhana bhakti, you will develop a strong desire to attain me. That is the process of sadhana bhakti. Kriti sadhya bhavet sadhya bhava sa sadhana bhida nitya siddhasya bhavasya prakatyam riddhi sadhyata. So Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu describes the definition of sadhana bhakti. Kriti sadhya. This is the process by which we engage our senses in the service of the Lord, and therefore by the process of engaging senses in the service of the Lord, sadhya bhava sa sadhana bhida. So this bhava bhakti will arise. Nitya siddhasya bhava prakatya. So nitya siddhasya bhava of Krishna prem will arise in the heart. So that is what Krishna is recommending in the 9th verse. Then somebody may say, but I am not prepared to follow this. Either smaranatmika is one far off thing, mananatmika is not in question. I am not at the level of abhyasa rupa bhakti also. I am not able to follow the regulative principles of devotional service, because these things are performed by mind and intelligence. Internally, you have to be really focused. And somebody may say, but I am not that intelligent. I am committing so many offenses. I cannot practice even sadhana bhakti. What should I do? Is there something for me? Krishna says, yes, there is something for you also. Then Krishna says, whatever you are doing, offer to me. If you cannot think about me, if you cannot remember me, use your intelligence to come closer to me. If you cannot practice the rules and regulations of bhakti, at least work for me. Abhyase apya samartosi matkarma paramo bhava madartham api karmani kurvan siddhim amapsyasi. So he says, abhyase api asamartha. If you are not samartha in the practice of abhyasa yoga or sadhana bhakti, then what you should do? Mat karma paramo bhava. Mat karma parama. That means become dedicated to work for me. Work for me. That is the highest thing. Madartham api karmani. Because by working for me, kurvan siddhim amapsasi, you will come to the perfectional stage also. So therefore, Krishna is not giving up on anyone, whoever he may be, at whatever level he may be. Krishna is saying everybody can come to him, everybody can practice bhakti. Then we'll see now in 12.8 to 10, Krishna is giving a ladder that extends down from the highest level, it's coming down. So we'll see now, you can see in this slide, Krishna is saying offer the mind and intelligence to him, and in this way you will live in me always. So that is 12.8. But somebody may say, I'm not on that level. So then Krishna says, okay, no problem. If you cannot fix your mind on me, then at least practice sadhana bhakti and develop a desire to attain me. That is 12.9. Somebody may say, I'm not on that level also. Krishna says, no worries. Still you can come to me. Work for me. In that 12.10, there are two sub-levels, as you can see in this slide. First is directly serving Krishna. Second is indirectly serving Krishna. So for example, directly serving means doing those activities which are directly related to Krishna. Just like whoever is coming close to temple, they can come to temple and offer their services. Many devotees, they come and offer their so many services in our temple. Somebody is getting flowers for the Lord. Somebody is coming and cleaning the temple of the Lord. These are the direct services of the Lord. Somebody may say, but I cannot do this, I'm so far, I'm not still ready to do all these menial services. Okay, no problem. Indirectly you can serve me, offer the fruits to me, give some donation. So therefore, when somebody is doing sadhana bhakti, then he is at the level 2. That is the second point. If somebody is doing some seva, like direct book distribution or some temple services or anything directly connected to Krishna or deities or Krishna consciousness, or somebody is preaching, that is 3.1. And if somebody is just giving some donation, that is he's working and giving some of part of his fruits to Krishna, that is 3.2. So therefore Krishna is telling anybody can come to him. Now somebody may say, but I think I'm not ready to give anything to Krishna also. So what is the hope for me? Can I come closer to spiritual life? Krishna says, yes, you can also come closer to me. That he describes in 12.11. He says, Ataitadapya shaktosi kartum madyogamashatah sarva karma phalatyagam tatah kuru yatatmavan. He says, Athaitad api ashakta. Even if you are not able to practice this, what is that? In 12.10. Working for Krishna. If somebody is not able to work for Krishna, no problem. Start doing something. Sarva karma phala tyaga. Try to act and giving up all the results of your actions. Tatah kuru yatatmavan. In this way, you become self-satisfied, self-situated. So therefore, Krishna is giving a step by step. If you cannot do this, do this. If you cannot do this also, at least start doing some charity work. Then in the next verse, which is a very, very complicated verse of Bhagavad Gita. So there is a hierarchy which Krishna describes in this verse, and it is many times confusing. And we'll see how Prabhupada and Chakravarti Thakur, they try to solve this puzzle. So this verse says, Shreyo hi jnanam abhyasach. That means better than jnana is practice. So he says is this jnana is better than abhyas. And then he says jnana dhyanam vishishyate. Then better than jnana is dhyan. Dhyanat karma phalatyagam. Better than dhyan is karma phala tyaga. Tyaga shantir anantaram. by this tyag one will attain peace. So you can see in this slide, in the upper side, there is a hierarchy which is given. Normal hierarchy is whatever we have heard and discussed till now is karma, then greater than karma yoga is jnana yoga, then jnana yoga, better than jnana yoga is dhyan, and then sadhana, and then pure devotion. In this verse, there's something different is described. Krishna is saying abhyas is the lowest, sadhana bhakti is the lowest, and then higher than sadhana bhakti is jnana, and then dhyan, and then karma yoga is the highest. So it is really confusing. So I'll try to explain. If you are not able to understand, don't worry, just keep hearing. So now we have to understand. So we have heard this also. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur writes that Mayeva man adhatsva is smarana atmika bhakti, May buddhim niveshaya is manana atmika bhakti, then abhyasa yoga is abhyasa rupa bhakti. So we'll directly go to the 12th verse where Krishna is saying Shreyo hi jnanam abhyasat. So Chakravarti Thakur, he is saying that this jnana which Krishna is mentioning here is not jnana yoga. This is the manan atmika bhakti. Manan atmika means the service of Krishna which is done with intelligence, as you can see in this slide under Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's explanation. And then he says jnanad dhyanam vishishyate, and better than smarana atmika bhakti is, better than manana atmika bhakti is smarana atmika. Dhyan means smarana. So there Chakravarti Thakur is saying that smarana atmika bhakti is the highest. That is there. If somebody can always think about Krishna, that is the highest level of pure devotional service. Dhyanat karma phala tyaga. Then he says, this dhyan is not this karma phala tyaga is not greater than dhyana. He is saying by this smarana atmika bhakti, one will develop distaste for the fruit of actions, and then by such distaste, one will attain peace. So that is what he is trying to describe. So the details are lots, but we'll go ahead. Now from 13th to 20th verse of this 12th chapter, Krishna describes a series of qualities that makes one dear to Krishna. And after every verse of this section, Krishna is saying, Yomad Bhakta Same Priyaha, Bhaktiman Yas Same Priyaha. So he's saying, and then last verse says, Bhaktaste Ativa Me Priyaha. So all these qualities, they fall under two categories. First is the essential qualities, and they are called Swarupa Lakshan. And then second is the Tatastha Lakshan. So Chakravarti Thakur says that amongst all these qualities, the primary essential quality is Bhakti Man. So this devotion is the primary quality which a devotee should have. And all the other qualities, they will automatically manifest. So we'll discuss about this now. So we'll see just an overview of now 12th chapter. In 12th chapter, from 12.1 to 7, Krishna has described conceptions. What are the different conceptions? Conceptions of impersonal Brahman, conceptions of devotional service. And then he had said devotional service is better than impersonal worship. So that is conceptions. From 8 to 12, he has described about activities which are performed in devotional service. Then from 13th to 20 verses, he has described the mentality. In what mentality the devotional service should be performed. So these are the qualities which are described by Krishna about the devotees. So Krishna says, I love everyone, but it has different levels. Just like mother may love child, but he does not trust him. She does not trust him. So mother may love all the children, but she does not trust all the children. She trusts only that child who is very, very mature. So therefore, Krishna is also very reciprocal. He loves everyone. He loves all the devotees. But whoever has these qualities, which are described in 13 to 20 verses, these qualities make him trustworthy. So therefore, if somebody says, I am a devotee of Krishna, and whether I have these qualities or not does not matter. So we cannot just whitewash someone just because he is a devotee, he can have all the bad qualities. No. Of course, devotional service has the potency to purify us of all our contaminations, and devotional service has the capacity to manifest all the good qualities, that is as it is described in Bhagavatam. Yasyasti bhaktir bhagavati yakinchana sarvair gunais tatra samasate surah. Whoever is devotee of the Lord, all the good qualities of the devatas, they manifest in his character. But at the same time, we have to understand that if we are not connected to Krishna and if we are just making a show of devotion, these qualities will not manifest. And it is our responsibility to check whether these qualities are manifesting in our character or not. So therefore, we have to always keep on, rechecking ourselves. Just like if a patient goes to a doctor and doctor gives him some medicines and prescriptions, and he is taking the medicines, but it is a responsibility of the patient to find and to check whether his infection is going down or not. And if it is not going down, that means there is some more problem which has to be addressed. So therefore, as we are practicing bhakti, we have to keep checking, am I becoming free from anarthas? Am I developing these good qualities? And we should always understand, developing these qualities does not mean that we have to go away from the direct path of devotional service to develop these qualities. Just like if somebody is angry, he becomes angry on short things. So there is no need to go for stop chanting and stop reading Bhagavatam because I have to do an anger management course. No, our shelter is Krishna. Our shelter is the process of devotional service, and within the purview of this devotional service, whatever we can, we should do. So bhakti should be our priority, and based on that, whatever we can, we should do our best so that these qualities manifest. Somebody may say, but that verse, those who are devotees, they have good qualities, and those who are non-devotees, they don't have any good qualities. It looks little, very, very extreme thing, because I see that there are some non-devotees who have so many good qualities, and there are some devotees who don't have any good quality. And everybody of us, we may have one person, one devotee in our mind who may know, अरे इसमें तो एक भी अच्छे गुण नहीं दिखते. Although he's chanting, although he's attending Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam classes, he's coming with devotees, but he has so many bad qualities, character wise. He does not know how to deal with devotees. So who is better? Chakravarti Thakur writes that this quality of being a devotee is the primary lakshan of a person who is closer to Krishna. And if somebody has no good qualities, but still he is sincerely practicing this path of devotional service, in due course of time, surely he will develop these qualities. As Krishna had said in the 9th chapter, Shipram bhavati dharmatma shashva shantim nigacchati kaunteya pratijanehi name bhaktah pranashyati. So the question is, should we associate with these type of devotees? Answer is no. We should respect them in mind, but stay away from them. We should not disrespect them. We should not offend them. Maintain a safe distance with them and offer them all respects, but associate with those devotees who have good qualities. Another thing is, when we see in the outside people so many good qualities, we should understand that these qualities, they are, their foundation is only one thing: how can I enjoy, how can I maintain my name, fame, prestige in this world. And these are very, very shallow and superficial foundations which Bhagavatam completely rejects. So therefore, although we may see some non-devotees having good qualities, but because the foundation is very shallow, on slightest temptations, these qualities may go away. But the process of bhakti is so strong that the foundation is deeply rooted. The more one becomes serious in the practice of Krishna consciousness, the more the qualities which they are manifesting, they are very, very stable. So bhakti is the source of sustainable development of good qualities. So good qualities will surely develop if we are eager and sincere in our practice of devotional service. So therefore, that's why in after every verse, Krishna is telling, Yo mad bhakta same priyaha, bhaktiman yas same priyaha, bhakti and bhaktaste ativa me priyaha. So therefore, we should do whatever is required within the realm of devotional service to develop these qualities as much as possible. And then in the 20th verse, Krishna is summarizing this chapter and he's saying, the surrendered soul, whoever is my devotee, he is most dear to me. Ye tu dharmamritamidam yathoktam paryupasate shraddadana matparma bhaktaste tiva me priyah. Ye tu dharmamritam idam yathoktam. Those who follow this imperishable path of devotional service. Amritam dharma. This imperishable path of devotional service, whoever follows, yatha uktam, as I have said, paryupasate shraddadhana, and they completely engage in devotional service with faith, shraddadhana. They are mat parma, they are making me the supreme goal. Mat parama means they are making me the supreme goal. These type of devotees are bhakta aste ativa me priyaha. These are very, very dear to me. So therefore, in this chapter, Krishna started with, in 12.2, Maya Vaishya Mano Yemam Nityapta Upashate Shraddhaya Parayopeta Steme Yukta Tamamata. He has started with Shraddha, and then in this last verse also, he is saying Shraddadhana Matparma Bhakta Stetiva Me Priya, and is ending with same Shraddha. So this is how we have completed 12 chapters now. So now we'll see the overall flow of Bhagavad Gita in 7 to 12 chapters. That is the section of Bhakti Yoga, the middle part, which is the most essential essence of whole Bhagavad Gita. So we'll just see the quickly this flow of 7 to 12 chapters. So in this 7th chapter, we saw that Krishna started this chapter by telling, "O Arjuna, please hear about my glories. Maya Vaishya Mano Yemam Nityukta Upasate." Sorry. What was the seventh? Just 7.1. Krishna had said, "Shrinu." Yeah. Maya Saktamana Partha Yogam Yunjan Madashraya Asamshayam Samagramam Yatha Ajyasasita Shrinu. So he says, just hear this knowledge, O Arjuna, because hearing about me reveals the glories of my spiritual and material energies. And then he explains how he is the source of all the material energies, how he is the source of all the spiritual energies. Then he says there are 4 types of people who come to me. Chaturvida bhajante mam jana sukritino. They are sukritis. They have all the pious credits. Artho, Artharthi, Jigyasu and Jnani. But there are 4 types of people who do not come to me. Who are they? They are Mudha, Naradhama, Maya Apritaggyana and Asuram Bhavamashritah. So these 4 types of people, they don't surrender to me. Then Krishna is saying, some people, they worship devatas because they want quick results. And some people who are worshippers of impersonal Brahman, and then he says this devata worshippers, they are alpa medhasaha. And then he says, those who are rejecting my personal form, avyaktam vyaktimapannam manyante mam abuddhayah. Those who are Mayavadis, they are unintelligent. And then he says, anybody can perform bhakti, and whoever performs bhakti with sinless motivations, yesham tu antagatam papam jananam punyakarmana te dvandva moha nirmukta bhajante mam dridhavrata. Whoever practices my bhakti without performing any sinful reactions, they can practice bhakti with determination. So that is the key word to practice determination, steady devotional service. That is, we should have sinless lives. That sinless life will give us the determination to practice bhakti in a steady way. Then after this, in 7.29 and 30, Krishna had mentioned so many different words, Sadhi bhutadi devam mam sadhi yagyam chaye vidhu prayana kale pichamam te vidur yukta chetasa. So many things he has described. So that forms the basis of 8th chapter. So in the 8th chapter, in first 4 verses, Krishna explains all these other words. Sadhi bhut, sadhi deva, sadhi yagya. All these things he has explained. Then the last thing, prayana kale apichamam, how whoever remembers me attains me. So Krishna dedicates the whole 8th chapter in that, answering that question. And the famous verses come, antakale cha mam eva smaranamuktva kalevaram, whoever remembers me at the time of death, they attain me. And then he makes a general principle, yam yamvapi smarana bhavam tyajyatyante kalevaram. Whoever remembers whatever form, O Arjuna, at the time of death, they attain that form. So this is the law of last thought. And then Krishna describes the 2 ways which jnanis and yogis they attain liberation by the path of light. And Krishna describes there the path of light is Uttarayana path, in the day, and then so many things are described. And then there is a path of darkness which is also described by Krishna, that is attained by karmis. So this jnanis and yogis, they follow this path of light and they go to Brahma Jyoti. They don't come back. But there are some karmis who follow this path of darkness. They go up to the heavenly planets, they again come back. So then Krishna describes, Arjuna may be thinking, but how will I remember all these things? Kab pran chhodne hain? Or it is very difficult. Krishna says, don't worry. You don't have to get disturbed by all these things. You just have to remember me at the time of death. Keep practicing devotional service, and for sure you will come to me. And then, after describing this, Krishna had said in the 8th chapter, last verse, that we have to attain Krishna by pure devotional service. How to become a pure devotee, how to practice this Ananya Bhakti, how to become Ananya Bhakta, that Krishna describes in the 9th chapter, which is the most confidential knowledge. That is the essence of whole Bhagavad Gita. There he has described so many qualities of this transcendental knowledge. There he has said, Rajvidya Rajguhyam Pavitramidam Uttamam Pratyakshavagam Dharmyam Susukham Kartum Avyayam. So many qualities is described about pure devotional service. And then Krishna describes that how this path is very, very rare. And then he describes his own qualities, how he creates, maintains, and destroys this entire creation. Then he says, but there are some fools and there are some rascals who worship Krishna, who approach him in different ways. And these are avajananti mam mudha manushim tanumashritam param bhavam ajananto mama bhuta maheshwaram. There Krishna says, these people, they are mudha. They don't know my actual form. They think when I come in this human form, the Supreme Lord is manifesting as a human. So they are foolish people. So this describes about Mayavadis, 9.11 and 12. Then he says, there are some demigod worshippers also. And there are some people who worship Brahmavadis, those who worship impersonal Brahman. And there are some people who worship Virata Rupa. So these three types of people he describes in 9.15. 9.16 to 19, Krishna describes about these Virata Rupa worshippers in short. Then from 20 to 21 and 23rd, Krishna describes about demigod worshippers. Then from 22 and 24th verse onwards, Krishna describes his sweet dealings with his devotees. There he says, I protect my devotee, I provide everything to my devotee, I do everything, I am specially inclined to my devotees. Samoham sarva bhuteshu namedvesha asti na priyah ye bhajanti tumam bhaktya mai te teshu chapyam. He says practice of bhakti is very, very simple, very easy. Patram pushpam phalam toyam. Just by offering these simple things, anybody can attain me. And then he says, even if somebody falls down in this path of devotional service, there is no loss. I will protect him. Kaunteya pratijanihi name bhaktah pranashyati shipram bhavati dharmatma shashvashantim nigacchati. Oh Arjuna, declare boldly, my devotee will never perish. And then he says, what to speak of some incidental faults. Even if somebody has inherent faults, born in a low class family, he can also practice bhakti. And then in the end, he says, the best way to practice my bhakti is to always remember me. Manmana bhava mad bhakto madhyajimam namaskuru mame vaishyasi yuktvaevam atmanam mat parayana. Always think about me, become my devotee, surrender unto me, worship me, offer obeisances unto me. In this way, you will come to me without fail. After hearing all this, now Arjuna had not asked anything. Krishna on his own, he goes into such an ecstasy describing the glories of devotional service. Then he describes his own opulences by which anybody can fix his mind on him. And then 10th chapter describes the opulences of Krishna, which are unlimited. Na asti anto vistarasya me. Krishna is saying, oh Arjuna, there is no end to my glories. I'll just tell you a fraction of my glories. There he describes Chatushloki Bhagavad Gita. In that Chatushloki Bhagavad Gita, he describes how he is the origin of everything. Aham sarvasya prabhavo. And then he describes how he takes care of his devotees, how his devotees, they worship him. Machattam adgata prana bodhayantah parasparam. Then he describes how he gives the intelligence to his devotees by which they can come to him. Tesham satata yuktanam bhajatam priti purvakam dadami buddhi yogam tam. I give them the intelligence. I give them my mercy. Tesham evanukam partham aham agyan jam tamah nashayami. I destroy the ignorance which is there in the heart of my devotees. Very, very personal dealings Krishna is telling about his devotees. Then, after hearing all this, after hearing this Chatushloki Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna says, oh Krishna, I accept whatever you say. I accept you as the Supreme Personality of God at Param Brahma Param Dhama. And he describes a series of words glorifying Krishna to be Supreme Personality of God. He says, not only me, Asita, Devala, Vyasa, everybody accepts you to be supreme, and now you yourself are telling me. Then after this, Krishna goes on describing a series of opulences from 10.19 to 10.39 verses. And then at the end, he says, oh Arjuna, my glories are unlimited. I am just telling you the spark of my splendor. Athva bahunaitena kim gyatena tavarjuna vishtabhyamidam kritsna ekam shena sthito jagat. So he's saying, I am with the fragment of my splendor, I am maintaining this entire universe. So Bhagavatam describes, even if somebody can count the sun rays, even if somebody counts the sand dust particles, even if somebody is able to count the snowflakes, still one can never count the qualities of and opulences of Krishna. Then after this, Arjuna had heard everything. Audio ho gaya. Arjuna is not satisfied with audio. He wants a visual also. He wants an audio visual presentation. So he says, I want to see this form. Drashtumichhami te rupam I want to see this form in which you are manifesting this entire creation. And then in response to this, Krishna, he manifests his universal form. And there, Arjuna sees so many multicolored, variegated expansions, variegated forms, thousands of mouths, thousands of hands. And then he sees the Kala Rupa also. And this Kala Rupa completely frightens Arjuna, because in that Kala Rupa he sees all the soldiers, they are entering the mouth of this Kala Rupa. The heads are getting crushed, the blood is coming out, the tongue of this Kala Rupa is licking the blood. Leli Hayase Rasamana Samanta Loka Samagran Vadane Jwalbhi. So he is completely bewildered. He offers his obeisances, asks for apologies. He says, "Oh my Lord, please forgive me. I considered you as my friend, but please forgive me, just like Piteva Sakyu, Priya Priyayar Hasideva Sodum." Just like a father, he forgives the impudence of the son. A friend forgives the impertinence of his friend, and husband forgives the familiarity of his wife. Similarly, please forgive my offenses. And then he requests, please, O Krishna, please come back to your two-handed form. And then Krishna appears in two-handed form. He says, O Arjuna, this form which you are seeing now is a very, very rare form. Nobody can see this form. Naham vedair, na tapasa, na danen, na cha ijjaya. I cannot be seen by all these things, by the practice of Vedas, by the study of the Vedas, by the practice of austerities, by dan, by tapasya. I can be known only by the practice of devotional service. Bhaktya tu ananyaya shakyaha ham evam vidho Arjuna. Only by the practice of devotional service I can be known. And then, after hearing this, Arjuna, he asks a question. Oh Krishna, I have heard about this personal form and impersonal form also. So please tell me which is better. Because Arjuna wants to make his position secure. He wants to know whether he is doing right or not, because he is attached to the personal form of the Lord. So then, in response to this, 12th chapter describes the process of devotional service. Krishna says, this devotional service is the highest of all the spiritual paths which is available. And there Krishna differentiates between personalists, impersonalists. He says the path of impersonalists, it is very, very troublesome. Klesho adhikataras tesham avyakta asakta chetasam. Because they are attached to this impersonal form, it is very, very troublesome path. But as far as my personal devotional service is concerned, it is very, very easy. I personally take care of my devotees. Tesham aham samudharta mrityu samsara sagrat. I personally take my devotee, and lifts him from the ocean of material existence and bring him to my abode. That's how devotional service is very, very easy path and the best path. Then it describes the various levels of devotional service, progressive levels of bhakti. Anybody can practice bhakti. If somebody is pure devotion, pure devotee, best. If you cannot do that, practice sadhana. If you cannot do that, work for him. If you cannot do that also, at least do something. Start doing some charity. And then in the end of this chapter, he describes a series of qualities which makes one dear to Krishna. So that is the end of this Bhakti Yoga section. And then after this, in the next 6 chapters, Krishna describes the Jnana Yoga section. So yeah, so we'll just start with this. Just a minute. We'll start the 13th chapter. Okay. So this is the last section of the whole Bhagavad Gita. So this is the Jnana Yoga section, and we'll see first the connection between the 12th and 13th chapters. So chapter 6 through 12, Lord Krishna has concluded his description of Bhakti Yoga. Then now he is describing Jnana Yoga section. One may ask, if Bhakti is the highest, then why is Jnana Yoga presented after Bhakti? That means Bhakti, Jnana is something better. So, but we should know that in 12.7, Krishna has promised he saves his devotees. And then chapter 13 to 18, he is describing how he is fulfilling this promise by giving devotees philosophical knowledge. Because Krishna has made a promise. Tesham aham samuddharta mrityu samsara sagarat bhavami na chirat partha maya veshit chetasam. Oh Arjuna, I protect my devotees. I take devotee out of this ocean of material existence. But Krishna is not a type of person who says, I will do everything, don't worry, you go to sleep. Krishna says, no. Even in Damodar Leela, till the time Mother Yashoda was completely exhausted, Krishna didn't show mercy. Somatu svinna gatraya visrishta kavarastraja drishtva parishramam krishnam kripaya asit swabandhane. Mother Yashoda, she was struggling from afternoon till evening to bind Krishna. Somatu svinna gatraya, and this Damodar Leela is happening in Vrindavan in November December month. Which that means it is a very, very cold season, and to sweat in cold winter season is not so easy. Mother Yashoda is Swinna Gatra, whole body of Mother Yashoda is drenched with sweat. Visrishta Kavarastraja, she had put flowers on her hair, they are falling down, all her clothes were disarrayed. Drishtva Parishramam Krishna, when Krishna he saw the parishram of Mother Yashoda, Kripaya Asit Sobandhane, then Krishna showed mercy. So therefore we have to understand that Krishna is making that assurance, he is giving us all confidence that I will protect you. I will take my devotee away uh, from this ocean of birth and death, and I'll take him to my abode. But Krishna is saying you have to struggle and endeavor to the best of your capacity. And a part of this is you have to understand philosophically how this Bhakti Yoga is the best way. So therefore, to make us understand this knowledge, this Jnana, Krishna is giving us in 13th to 18th chapter so that we become philosophically convinced and we struggle and practice this path of Bhakti Yoga with all the more zeal and enthusiasm. So that is why Krishna is giving this Jnana Yoga section after Bhakti Yoga to make our intelligence and philosophical knowledge about him very, very strong. Therefore, Krishna says in the 9th chapter, Janma karma cha me divyam evam yo vetti tattvataha. Tattvataha, whoever knows my janma and my karma in tattva, in truth, Tyaktva deham punarjanma naiti mameti swarjuna. They come to me without fail after giving up this body. So that is the purpose of giving this Jnana Yoga section. So again, in this overview of whole Bhagavad Gita, first 6 chapters describe how one can achieve bhakti through one's work. Last 6 chapters describe how one can achieve bhakti through knowledge, and middle 6 chapters they describe about bhakti itself. So all these 3 sections are related with each other. We cannot take one section out of the box, out of the picture, and say no, I will do only this. We have to do everything. We have to work for Krishna. As I discussed on the first day, the whole Bhagavad Gita in one sentence: learn to work for Krishna while living in this material world. So that's why Krishna is giving this whole Bhagavad Gita, so that we understand how we can work for Krishna while living in this world. So therefore, this jnana which Krishna is giving us in this last section of Bhagavad Gita, it helps us to detach ourselves from material energy and develop our attachment to Krishna. So therefore, detachment from material nature and attachment to Krishna, they go side by side. So therefore, if if there is no bhakti, then gyan and karma, they are useless. Naishkarmyam apyachyuta bhava varjitam nashobhate jnanam alam niranjanam. If there is no bhakti, gyan is useless, karma is useless. So that is the purpose of this whole jnana yoga section, to make us understand the importance of this knowledge about Krishna. Now just I'll like to tell that this 13th chapter of Bhagavad Gita is the most technical of all the chapters of Bhagavad Gita. So I'll try my best, but even if you're not able to understand some details, don't worry, because that is how this chapter is. It is very, very technical chapter, and not everybody will be able to grasp whatever the concepts are given in this chapter, but try your best whatever you can. So now this 13th chapter, Arjuna, he asks a question. So he says, Prakritim Purusham Chaiva Kshetram Kshetragyameva cha Etad Veditum Ichhami Jnanam Gyayam cha Keshava. So in this first verse, Arjuna has asked 6 things. O Krishna, O Keshava, please tell me what is Prakriti. Prakriti means what is material nature. What is Purusha? Purusha means the enjoyer. So Purusha mentality means enjoyer mentality. So Arjuna is asking, what is this material nature? And who is the enjoyer of this material nature? Then he asks Kshetra. Kshetra means the field in which one acts within this material world. Then he says about Kshetragya. Kshetragya means who is the knower of this material world, or this Kshetra. Then it says about Jnanam and Gyayam. He says what is knowledge and who is the object of this knowledge. By this knowledge, who is to be known. So therefore, this Kshetra means area of influence basically. So this Prakriti means the whole material nature, and this Kshetra means a part of this material nature. So therefore, Prabhupada writes in the purport, Krishna said that this body is called the field, and one who knows this body is the knower of the field. So in simple terms, this body is a field and this material nature is also a field. So we may know only our body. We may not even understand whatever is happening in others' body. But who knows whatever is happening in everyone's body? That is Supreme Lord. So that is what Prabhupada is writing in this purport of this first verse only. He is giving answer to some questions in the first verse purport only. Now before proceeding, we'll see why Prabhupada has entitled this chapter as nature. Sorry, it is as this chapter as nature, enjoyer and consciousness. So in this chapter, 3 things are going to be discussed: Jagat, Ishvara and Jiva. Jagat means this material world, Ishvara means the Supreme Lord, and Jiva means the living entity. So in technical terms, this is called Tattva Traya. Traya means 3. So Jagat refers to either Prakriti or Kshetra. So Kshetra is a subset of Prakriti. In simple terms, mathematical terms, there is a set and there is a subset. So Prakriti means whole, all over the all material creation, and Kshetra means a part of that material creation. Then Jiva is Purusha and Kshetragya. Kshetragya means one who knows. Purusha means one who controls. So we are Purusha and we are Kshetragya also. We know our body and we try to control things in this world. And Ishwar is of course Purusha. He is Param Purusha. We are also Purusha because we are trying to control. Ishvara is Param Purusha. He is not under anyone's control. We are trying to control, but we are under control of this material nature also. Krishna is beyond this control of material nature. He is Param Purusha and he knows all the material creation. Therefore, he is Supreme Kshetragya. So, Jagat refers to nature, Ishvara refers to the enjoyer, and Jiva, we refers to consciousness. So, that is how this chapter title comes: nature, enjoyer, and consciousness. So, now, after Arjuna asks this question, Krishna starts answering. Idam shariram kaunteya kshetramityabhidhiyate etadyo vetti tam prahu kshetragya iti tadvidah. So Krishna says, O Kaunteya, O son of Kunti, this body is Kshetra. And who is Kshetragya? Who knows this body? That is soul. Soul knows this body. That means we know our body. But then Krishna says in the next verse, third verse, there is another Kshetragya also who knows all the bodies. I know only my body. You can know only your body. But Krishna, who is there in everyone's heart, knows all the bodies. Kshetragyam chapi mam vidhi sarva kshetreshu bharata. Kshetragyayor jnanam yattaj jnanam matam mama. He says, Kshetragyam chapi mam. O Arjuna, understand that I am also the knower of all the material creation. Sarva kshetreshu, So in second verse, Krishna has said, this idam shariram kaunteya kshetram ityabhidhiyate, and one who knows this kshetra is called kshetragya. Now in this verse, he is saying, I am also kshetragya, but I know all the kshetras, sarva kshetreshu bharata. Therefore, what is knowledge? So in these verses, he is answering three questions. Who is kshetra? What is kshetra? Who is kshetragya? And what is knowledge? So he says one who knows this kshetra and kshetragya, one who knows this material nature, one who knows soul, one who knows super soul, that person is called a person of knowledge. So what is knowledge? Knowledge means to know three things: to know matter, to know spirit, and to know the controller of both. To know Prakriti, to know Atma, and to know Paramatma. Paramatma is the supreme controller of matter and spirit. So therefore, Prabhupada in the purport, he writes, because the super soul is the plenary expansion of the supreme personality of Godhead, Krishna says, I am also the knower. But I am not the individual knower of the body, I am super knower. So Prabhupada is using the word super knower, which is not there in the dictionary. When Prabhupada he went to America first time, then he found that all these Superman or all these are very famous in America. So just to make people understand what is this, who is this Paramatma, so he coined the term soul and super soul, just like Superman, soul and super soul, man, Superman. So similarly, Prabhupada in the purport writes, soul is knower, Paramatma is super knower, And in that purport, Prabhupada gives an example, just like citizen in a country, he knows only his house, but the king, he knows the whole kingdom. That is the kshetragya of whole kingdom. Citizen is kshetragya of only his own home. And there he writes a very beautiful statement. He says one should not confuse painter, painting, and the easel. So painter means painter, he is comparing to kshetragya. Painting means the material creation. Painting means the jiva, and easel means the material creation. So it is little technical terms, don't worry about it. We'll go ahead. Now, in the next verse, Krishna explains. He is giving a overall summary of whatever he is going to speak in the coming chapter. So he describes 5 things in this verse. In this verse, Krishna is saying, Tat kshetram yaccha yadrikcha yadvikari yatascha yat sachayo yat prabhavascha tat samasena me shrunu. So Krishna is saying, Oh Arjuna, I will explain you 6 topics now. And you hear from me in brief about these things. Tat samasena. Samasena means I will describe you in brief about these things. What all I will describe to you? First he says, Tat kshetram yaccha. First he describes about composition of the body. What is this body made up of? What is this material nature made up of? Then he says yadrik. What are the qualities of this body? Yadvikari. What are the transformations which this body goes through? And we all know there are 6 transformations which a body goes through: birth, growth, then old stays for some time, then dwindles, then produces byproduct, then dwindles, and then dies. So Krishna will describe the changes of this material body. Then he says from where this body originates. And then he says who is the knower of this body? Yat. And then he says what are the powers of the knower of the body. So this is all Krishna says. I will explain you in brief. पूरा नहीं बताऊंगा, पूरा बताने का time नहीं है अभी. You are on battlefield, सब बताते रहेंगे तो बहुत time निकल जाएगा. Krishna says no, I will tell you in brief. Arjuna may say, but okay, you will tell me in brief, but I want to know in detail. कहाँ जाना है detail में सुनना है तो? Krishna says, there are great authorities, there are great sages who you go to them and ask them. Rishibhir bahuda gitam chandobhir vividhai pratak. There are various sages who have described this knowledge of Kshetra, Kshetragya in detail, and they are described in the Vedas, and they are described in various Vedic writings. So you go to these sages and you learn this knowledge from them. Brahma Sutra Padaishchaiva. Especially they are represented in Vedanta Sutra. Hetu Madbhir Vanishchitai, with all reasonings. Everything is given in that Vedanta Sutra, in the Vedas, in all these things. So you go to them and listen. So then Krishna will start answering all these things in brief in coming chapter of 13th. We'll stop here. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai. If anybody has any questions, they can put on the chat. Can you show the slide of 13.4? Okay. Today nobody has any questions. I think it seems everybody is satisfied, or either you understood everything, or it went beyond. Okay. So this 13.4 describes what all Krishna is going to explain in the coming chapters. Somebody has asked, the qualities mentioned are as same as we see in Uttamadhikari. I think you are talking about 12.8 to 12. So 12.13 further. Yes, all these are the qualities of a pure devotee, and as a practicing sadhaka, we should try to develop these qualities. We should try to consciously develop these qualities. These qualities, they are manifested in pure devotees automatically, but as a sadhaka, we have to practice to develop these qualities like that. How Krishna is worshipped by intelligence? That means, first of all, you always remember Krishna, and then you share that knowledge with others. So that is a level of a Uttamadhikari or a level of a Madhyamadhikari. He is always remembering Krishna, that is Uttamadhikari. But below that is a level of Madhyamadhikari. He may not be able to remember Krishna always, but his intelligence is always focused on thinking about qualities of Krishna, pastimes, and that's how he is to consciously work on it. And he is much higher than a abhyasa yogi, sadhaka level. So that is how Krishna is worshipped by intelligence, by those devotees who are purified of their anarthas. That means beyond sadhaka level, after this adav shraddha tata sadhu sanga atha bhajan kriya tato anarth nivritti syat. So after this anarth nivritti stages, whatever stages are there, the intelligence of a sadhaka becomes fixed in uh, trying to know about Krishna. So although he may not be consciously and spontaneously remembering Krishna, but he is using all his intelligence to always connect to Krishna, and he does not have to struggle so much as a sadhaka level. Okay, if you are in touch with a devotee recently who is in devotion before you but not chanting rounds regularly, in this situation, will the devotee who is in touch with this devotee accumulate sin if he is not chanting his rounds regularly? Heard this from a devotee. So the question is little not so much clear. If anybody has any other questions, they can put on the chat. I'll think about this question. If you are in touch with a devotee recently, so it seems what I understood, if we see a devotee who is who has come in the devotional service much before than us, but he is still not able to chant his rounds properly. He's not able to complete his 16 rounds or whatever. And if we are associating with such type of devotee, then will we go ahead in Krishna consciousness, or will we go down? So we have to understand there are three levels of a devotee. There is a Kanishtha, Madhyama and Uttama. So Kanishtha level devotee, he thinks me and Krishna, मेरे और भगवान के बीच में कोई नहीं आना चाहिए. ये बाकी devotee मेरे से कुछ लेना देना नहीं. His faith is very, very fragile. He has no faith in devotees. He is interested only in worshipping Krishna. That also not properly, that also whimsically. As he grows in Krishna consciousness, so we should understand that even if somebody has come in Krishna consciousness before than us, but his conditionings may be so strong that he is not able to take to the process of bhakti so seriously. So what we should do with these type of devotees, we should offer our respects from a distance. We don't have to associate with them. There is another higher level of devotee, that is Madhyama Adhikari. This is a very, very strong devotee. His faith in scriptures are very strong. He is a very steady devotee. So what we have to do is, we have to associate with these devotees, take guidance from these people. And the highest is a Uttama Adhikari. Just by seeing that devotee, one likes to perform bhakti. That is a Uttama Adhikari. So therefore, we have to understand that we have to offer respects to everyone, but we have to associate with only those who are very, very steady and sincere in devotional service. That should be our, goal. But at the same time, we should be very, very careful not to offend anyone, either a neophyte devotee or even an outsider. Even a materialist should not be, offended, because everybody should be respected, because everybody is a part and parcel of Lord, but from a distance. We don't have to criticize anyone. Okay, next question is, I understood why Jnana Yoga is described after Bhakti, but why Arjuna gets such a strange question out of the blue about Purusha, Prakriti and all these things? after such a nice audio visual presentation of the conclusion of the Lord? I don't understand. Good question. So because you have to understand that just that after the class is over, just like our class is going on, and after the class is over, and few devotees they ask questions related to the class, and then teacher is still there seated in the mood of answering more questions. So one person thinks, अरे मेरा पहले का वो डाउट बाकी था, वो पहला सुना था वो क्लियर नहीं हुआ, चलो अभी क्लास से कोई रिलेशन नहीं है फिर भी पूछने में क्या प्रॉब्लम है, पूछ लेते हैं. So that is what is happening with Arjuna. Whatever things Arjuna had asked in this 13th chapter, he had heard earlier in some other, point of time from someone. He wants to clarify these things from Krishna, because Krishna is a supreme authority. So, we have heard so many things, we may hear so many things about some particular concept. But if we see some very, very powerful scholar and very advanced devotee, we like to ask the same question again, although the class which is giving may not be in relationship to that question. So similarly, this is happening to Arjuna. So therefore he is clarifying all his previous doubts. That is also for the welfare of us, like that. Okay. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai.